to my Windwalker Monk Mythic Plus guide. Today I'm going to be covering a build which I've been calling the Keefer's Minute Monk, which provides you with a really high consistent DPS while requiring a minimal amount of effort. So what exactly makes this build worth using and who is it for? It's incredibly easy to play. It requires virtually no setup and your damage is front loaded, meaning as soon as a pull starts, a couple of seconds in and you're already dealing really good damage. It's great for the average Windwalker who wants to do their plus 15 for the week, maybe get Keystone Master, or even go for plus 20s. It works well in uncoordinated groups. This could be a group with randoms or even a group of friends who don't care about doing some insane strategy. And you've potentially got burst for the vast majority of packs in a dungeon. The main difference between this build and the usual INVOKERS build is obviously the legendary, swapping from a 2-minute playstyle revolving around Zwen and INVOKERS, and instead using Keefers. We're also going to be swapping Whirling Dragon Punch for Spiritual Focus, which helps align the cooldown of Storm Earth and Fire with every Bone Dust Brew cast. This is the overall talent setup that you're going to be using for this build. The only things that are necessary are Chi Burst for the extra Chi generation, Ascension for the Chi cap increase. You want that because combined with Chi Burst and the Keefer setup, you're going to be generating 6 Chi on any sort of decent AoE pack. You want Dance of Chi-Chi obviously for the triple damage on Crane Kick procs, and Spiritual Focus for the cooldown reduction on Storm Earth and Fire. In terms of what stats you want, you're mainly going to be focusing on Versatility and Mastery. Versatility will give you less of a damage increase per point than Mastery will, however it does give you that damage reduction which will help you survive. This is a build that does not ignore its Mastery. You're going to be weaving abilities between each other rather than just spamming Crane Kicks. Afterwards, you're going to get some crit. Somewhere between 20 to 30% is okay, anything more is pretty overkill. As for haste, it's alright if some of it's on your gear, if you have like 5% or something like that is okay, but you don't want to focus it by any means. Lastly, I'm going to talk about some trinkets that you can use. Personally, I think Badge is the best trinket for this simply because of the 1 minute cooldown. It lines up with everything. Lines up with Bone Dust Brew, lines up with Storm Earth and Fire when you factor in Spiritual Focus cooldown reduction, lines up with Keefers, and lines up with every second Zwen. As for your second trinket, you can run any sort of proc trinket that just does raw damage, or you can run a stat stick trinket like one of the new ones from the newer dungeons, or you can just do what I'm doing and run a Gladiator's Insignia that gives haste, and a little bit of haste is okay, but then it also procs main stat, and it procs very, very frequently. First up is the single target opener. This is incredibly straightforward. The only thing you need to make sure of is that you have 3 Chi prior to Tiger Palming the boss. You can do this by building up Chi on a previous pack, or by using Expel Harm and Chi Burst before the boss is pulled. So in this clip I'm starting off at 1 Chi, I use an Expel Harm and a Chi Burst as I approach the boss, then I use Zwen, Bone Dust Brew, Tiger Palm to proc Keefers, then Storm Earth and Fire into Sun Kick, and then Fist of Fury. After the Fist of Fury is done, I return back to the standard Windwalker rotation of weaving Tiger Palms and Blackout Kicks, Sun Kicking when it's off cooldown, same thing with Fist of Fury, and using Crane Kick procs. If the boss is going to live long enough for your Keefer's debuff to reset, then all you have to do is just make sure that before that happens, generate 3 Chi, and then rinse and repeat and do the exact same opener again. For the 2 to 3 target opener, you're going to be starting off with 2 Chi, and then opening with a Chi Burst. Then you're going to summon Zwen, and drop Bone Dust Brew. You're going to press Storm Earth and Fire 1 time, and then Tiger Palm. You want to make sure that you don't double tap Storm Earth and Fire here. You want them to not be fixated when you press that Tiger Palm, so that they spread the Keefer's debuff to every enemy in the pack. After that, you're going to fixate them, and then full channel a Fist of Fury into a Spinning Crane Kick, Tiger Palm, Spinning Crane Kick, Blackout Kick. If you previously built up a Dance of Chi-Chi proc on a previous pack, then instead of Fist of Fury in the opener, you're going to use that Crane Kick proc first, then go into the Fist of Fury, and then do the same rotation. Next up is the 4 to 5 target burst opener. For this, you can start with 0 Chi if you have Chi Burst, otherwise you can start with 2. You're going to Chi Burst and summon Zwen, drop Bone Dust Brew, press Storm Earth and Fire once, and then Tiger Palm twice in a row. After that, you're going to Spinning Crane Kick, Blackout Kick, Spinning Crane Kick, Blackout Kick, Spinning Crane Kick, then Tiger Palm, and then finish with a Fist of Fury. If you have a Chi-Chi proc prior to the burst starting, you can do the exact same rotation. If the pack that's been pulled has more than 5 enemies in it, you do the exact same rotation, And the only difference is every time you need to Tiger Palm to generate chi, you try and tab target to one of the targets that doesn't have Keefer's procced on it yet, and just do the exact same thing. Because you can start this burst with 0 chi, any chi that you have from the previous pack you can actually spend prior to doing your burst, in the hopes that you get a Dance of Chi-Chi proc. In this clip on the screen I run in and throw out a blackout kick, which luckily procs me a Dance of Chi-Chi. Because that crane kick was free, it made up for the fact that I didn't have chi burst. So when going into a pack of 4 or 5 mobs and you have chi to spare, chuck out a chi spender as you walk in, just to see if you get lucky. If you find yourself in a situation where you don't have any cooldowns available for a pack, you're basically just going to run around, Tiger Palm a couple of mobs, Fist of Fury, Tiger Palm anything that doesn't have Keefer's applied, hopefully you get some bonus brew procs or some Chi-Chi procs, and just spin. By the time that pack is over, most likely you'll have cooldowns up for the next one. There are a couple of variables in the build, that's obviously procs, Dance of Chi-Chi procs, and also bonus brew procs. Proccing Crane Kick is going to triple the damage of your next Crane Kick cast, and Bone Dust Brew is also going to refund you chi on Crane Kicks as well. If you continue to proc Crane Kick and Bone Dust Brew even after the burst is finished, you can continue Crane Kicking and Blackout Kicking and spam that for as long as you can. Whenever you need chi, you can throw in a Tiger Palm and rinse and repeat until the pack is dead. There is a little bit of reactivity to the build, but in general, these openers will do you justice. That wraps up this little Mythic Plus guide. I hope you all get some entertainment out of it if you decide to try it. I made the build because honestly, I just couldn't be bothered dealing with the INVOKERS playstyle and swapping between it for Mythic Plus and dealing with the frustrating setup. In low level uncoordinated keys where everyone just pops cooldowns willy-nilly, at least when you run this build you get to have your fun before everything dies. I love the fact that I can play this build and literally just use my PvP set if I want to. I'm not trying to push any sort of high level key. I did do all plus 20s last season and blasted the meters every time using this build, so it's definitely not bad. This is my first PvE guide, so I'm trying to make the videos cleaner and do a little bit of editing. I gotta practice to make them better. So leave any feedback if I can make any improvements, I would honestly appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.